Welcome to Which to Take, Office of Fortune Teller, Shaman, Folk Artist with Christina Lisa, and another episode of the Chiron Report. Chiron Report number 8. It is the 24th of April. Peace. You may call us river and develop with us which virtues of courage, honor, integrity, truth, and wisdom. This reading is for fun and games, for shits and giggles, for flexing our heart, mind, body, soul, emotions, spirit, and intuition. At the least, we hope to cause harm to none. At the most, we hope we may assist you on your healing path. Everybody is a different psychosociology experiment. What resonates for one may not for another. So thank you again for using your gifts of discernment before deciding what you gather and take away, adopting as your own. And happy Friday, or whenever you are hearing this. We roll the dice and the Platonic Solids. So there you see that. So we shall get to that in a minute. And that's what that stack is helping us with. And this stack, and then these books. So these books that you saw earlier by Cindy Dale, brilliant, creative, intuitive author, artist, so much more. We were studying and we took notes on these cards from those books. And then this card, the Rowan, the Tree Angel Oracle, showed up. And this beautiful crystal, smoky quartz crystal from Tracy and Company Center for Healing in Marion, Mass. And let's start with the Rowan, shall we? And pardon me. So yeah, since it contains certain graphic information, we need to cover bits and pieces of it. But you see the beautiful person, the number 5. There's 2 people. Just so thrilled to be alive. And the beautiful artwork. You may see more if you procure your own deck. And that copper pipe at the top, so fun. You know what's gonna happen to that. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. So the Rowan Oracle comes with a poem. Habit threatens social masks and routine paralyzes. The river dries up. Listen, do you hear the call? Follow your inspiration, and day by day you will step into the flow of creation. Glory be, how sweet. And that's from page 51 of the booklet that accompanies this Tree Angel Oracle deck by Fred Hageneter and illustrated by An Heng. The Tree Angel Oracle deck, The Ancient Path into the Sacred Grove. And this is published by Earth Dancer and Inner Traditions imprint. I want to say they also have bear in the name, but I can't see that right now. But those details, God willing, are in the description for you. So Rowan also has some guidance. It goes something like this. If we open ourselves up fully to the Rowan tree's energetic field, inspiration will strike like a bolt of lightning. Whether the impulse comes from our inner voice, our higher self, or our angelic being, or whether it is from the tree or even God himself, everything is concealed within the light because we have already leapt up and begun to turn our ideas into action. We find ourselves painting, writing, composing music, following our heart's desire. There's no need to analyze why, we just feel compelled to do it. So We experience ourselves as willing tools of creation at the center of the joyous river of being. Action that derives from such knowledge of the inner self always brings fulfillment. The results of such creativity always have a truth and sincerity to them, even if they could not be termed a masterpiece, which would require a great deal of practice or training and the blessings of the ash. Yet it is also right to be cautious with regard to allowing ourselves to be carried along on this great river of inspiration, in case we lose sight of our roots and neglect our promises to those around us. Inspiration that comes from the center of our being has yet another gift for us, one that is even more important than creativity. We become profoundly aware of our identity, which protects us from all sorts of worldly dangers, social role-playing, showing off and always seeking the limelight, manipulating or being manipulated by others. With Rowan at our side, we can be true to ourselves. When the angelic being of Rowan is absent, our lives are bereft of ideas and somehow inauthentic. This lack of originality can lead to plagiarism and thinking in cliches. Other signs of its lack are boredom, a feeling of emptiness, and finally, depression. Wow, how pertinent that the Rowan shows up for us as we are discussing Chiron, who is an Aries, and Aries is all about the cosmic law of action. So beautiful. And stepping over to more about this, how we may process this. You know, maybe you don't know, emotions are normal responses to the external environment. They're actually thoughts combined with feelings. So when we're talking about all of this, perhaps that helps it put it into perspective. And that's from Cindy Dale and her books. And thoughts steer our feelings, and the feelings themselves create the chemical, attitudinal, even electrical environment that impacts certain organs and meridians. And, you know, we have emotions, thoughts, feelings, but what are they? Who tells us about them? So you may check out more Cindy Dale or other healers that you resonate to clarify this. And, you know, information or energy that does not fit will feel or sound or smell or just seem off. It won't connect with you. You also might experience a sensation of dread or fright, both indications that what is happening doesn't suit you. And so again, that is from brilliant creative Cindy Dale and her books, her subtle energy healing books. And wait, there's more. 2, 3, 4. Isn't that so fun? You have a small straight there. And then number 10, because we had rolled the dice at the beginning and the number 10 came up. So this number 10, we are in a 10-year. This gives some other ideas about the number 10, how we may apply it metaphysically, different ways to think about it. And we are building heaven on earth. And so this is so thrilling. This is a number of physical matter, signals. What does that say? Upside down, I can't read it. And the sun's in my eyes. Let's turn that around. Oh, haha. Signifies starting over and building. Signifies starting, building over. Signifies building or starting over. Thank you, Cindy Dale. And what else about the number 10? it boosts intentions or the energy of a new direction. So beautiful, especially when we are discussing Chiron and moving from a low to a high state of adoption. And we truly are creating a new heaven on earth, and so beautiful. And so the different ways you can apply the numerology for fun. We're playing through loss, right? And the loss that is so much, sometimes we want to hurt ourselves and others, but not really. We'd rather play our cards through the loss and summon adoption spirit magic. And so these are some of the cards we play instead. And if this isn't fun for you, feel free to change the channel. If you change your mind, feel free to return. So this numerology, you can make art out of it. You can visualize it in certain areas over certain things. I thought I'd include the other number 10 card in this deck where I took notes on fire, because this Aries energy, so fiery. So how can we use this productively and moving from a low to a high state of adoption without hurting anyone? We know more what it is. It eliminates, it purges, it burns away, it builds energy, excitement, life is the basis of Kundalini process and important in healing, can be used to purify blood or lymph systems or toxins, but careful, it can enhance anger and inflammation. So yes, we are not a doctor, lawyer, therapist. We are a fortune teller, shaman, folk artist. So thank you for using your gifts of discernment before deciding what to gather and take away, adopting as your own, and consulting with the relevant professionals with the relevant issues in your life, right? And again, this is for fun, to help relieve stress, to help us move from here to there. And some definitions. Part of our duty, one of our duties, is to share definitions. So this is from the National Association of Spiritualist Churches.org. A spiritualist healer works with the spirit, mind, and emotions of the body of the recipient. I feel like we're all doing that. We're all students, we're all teachers, we're all healers from our perspective and our experience anyways. And then the number 1, it's part of that number 10, so I thought I'd include that. Number 1 initiates and begins, invokes the creator, brings your needs to a conclusion and puts yourself first. So sweet, that number 10. That number 1 that starts the 10. And this also helps with victim issues that cause us to put others first or take on their energy. So essential, especially when we're talking about Chiron and moving from a low to high state of adoption, flipping that fighting spirit card to play through loss with adoption spirit instead. And as a practitioner of subtle energy medicine, when you work with the fields generated by a group of atoms or even a single atom, you can potentially determine the health or needs of those atomic structures, thus promoting healing. And again, that's from Cindy Dale. I think it's either from this book or that book or one of the others in her series. God bless it. I didn't write down the book title on that card. And then the other ace card, because I was doing the ones for the 10 dice that came out. Star. I happened to take a note on the star. The star uses spiritual truths to form and purify physical matter. Star can be used to release negative misconceptions by formulating the truth. And so, everybody's a different psychosociology experiment. What works for one may not for another. And the way you use a star may be different than the way I use a star. And so we can play around with that, because that's what we're doing now in a high state of adoption, immersed in adoption spirit magic, now that we flipped the fighting spirit card. And we're playing, right? And so if it's not play, again, feel free to change the channel. And you are also welcome to change your mind. And we pulled the air card because the Gemini dice rolled face up, and Gemini is air energy. And so air, it transmits ideas and ideals. It allows the spread of energies from place to place or person to person, active when moving and directed when active when moving and directed, inactive yet ripe with potential when still, can be used to blow away negative beliefs or initiate helpful ones. It's such an intimate experience to blow on somebody. I know, I just said that. But so, sometimes like when you, it's like you're blowing out the candles. You're like blowing the hurt away gently on your little ones or your loved ones, and perhaps that's where you use that with the people that are closest to you, because it is such an intimate thing to use your breath. And then, since we're in this classroom, we're doing this to prove continuity of life, that life keeps going on after the earthly passage of death, also for proving personal survival and personal unfoldment and growth. So here's a few more definitions that may be helpful, and that what we are practicing in these circles unfolding as we wish, and we're picking up directly on objects, events, and people and talking about it. And specifically, we're picking up on these planets and stars and aspects. And let's see, I'm running out of space here, the Queen. And then also mediumship, tapping in with our ancestors. So a medium is one whose organism is sensitive to the vibrations from the spiritual world, and through whose intelligences in that world are able to convey messages and produce phenomena of spiritualism. So beautiful. So beautiful. And, you get to lead as the person on planet Earth. You get to lead these mediumship dates and these star dates, and love is your ultimate protection. And so you could take classes and classes on that, but we can just start with some of those elementary basics. And let's see, last but not least, for these definitions right now, they may help orient you and relieve some stress. A spiritualist healer is aware that once stress is removed from the mind and emotions of the body, the body responds naturally. This brings about holistic healing in the patient. And again, those are from the National Spiritualist Association of Churches.org. Those healer and psychic mediumship definitions. And then the others about the subtle energy were from Cindy Dale, so you can do your own research. But perhaps that helps. Oops, sorry. Jeez Louise. Sorry about that. I'm trying to do all these things, and sometimes I get a little caught up. So thank you for your patience. Okay, so let me put these cards away, and then we are moving into Chiron. That was quite a warm-up, but it's Friday night. Friday, sun is setting. The sun is setting. So beautiful. So beautiful. If you are not able to see it from where you are, God bless it and us all. There's a little, a little glow you can take in. Careful. I know. Careful. So Chiron, the number 10, Gemini. There's the number 10. There's Gemini. What was the other one that came out? Oh my God. We can start with those. And Chiron's story. And if you're just jumping in, Chiron is the wounded healer, is one of his nicknames. And if you are returning, you may be telling the story over there from where you are. Thank you very much. And if you have more to add, you can leave in the comments. So appreciated. So Chiron was half human, half centaur, and his birth parents were disgusted with that in him, and so they cast him off, and he was adopted by the god Apollo. And such a relevant piece, that disgust. We may put a pin in that and come back later, or you may review one of our recent shorts in the Chiron series, in the Chiron course, called Ick. I think it was Chiron Report number 6. Ick, Chiron Report number 6. But knowing what to do with our disgust, and Chiron decided, I'm not going to mimic my birth parents. And also, unlike all the other centaurs, I desire to become a channel for healing. Instead of becoming a tool for war, I prefer to become a channel for healing. And so he did that. And this Aries season, this April, Chiron is inviting us to change the question from what am I fighting for next to what if I don't need to fight for anything? What if I can flip over the fighting spirit card and play through loss with adoption spirit instead? And Eris, Mars' sister, Ceres, Persephone's, where's Persephone? Persephone's mom, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Neptune are all in agreement, helping with this cosmic law of action, this conscious Aries energy, the Rowan energy. Oh, so beautiful, the connections. This is house number 1. This is how you showed up to participate this time around, if you, of your free will, are choosing to, right? Everybody's got a choice. Unless your amygdala, your grief-struck by loss amygdala, has taken over the reins and is authorizing cycles of fear, fight, flight, freeze, fuck, fawn, God bless it, end us all, however you call God. We've all been there. And so now we are being offered a different path to decommission the amygdala, to flip over the fighting spirit card and play through losses with adoption spirit instead. Glory be. And maybe this is one of your cards. It looks like a tarot card. The purpose of tarot is to teach. Dr. Robert Wang from the Golden Dawn Tarot says, sorry about that. And this looks like a big tarot card. And all the screenshots you've taken, every time you're looking at a screen, that's another tarot card in your deck helping you teach yourself and make your most blessed dreams come true. So Chiron has been opening a portal with so many others, including us, a portal with extra wide berth that's open through 2044 and beyond if we want to flip the fighting spirit card and play through loss with adoption spirit instead. The portal's open. What do you think? And so while you contemplate, you can flip through the Chiron Report. There's 8 now courses, 8 parts to this course to help you decide which way you want to go. And when we rolled the dice today to help narrow this down a little bit, Gemini energy came up, the number 10 came up, and I can't remember the other one right now. It's going to come back to me. So Gemini, you know, people call Gemini. They call Gemini the twins, but I really appreciate, we really appreciate seeing it as the student and the teacher inside of you. We all have a student and a teacher inside of us. And how are you vibing? How do you raise your vibration? And here to help, third house, this is about how you communicate and get around in your everyday life. And this is AI, and like what we've seen just in 2026 with AI, and how we've, in order to take on new AI, we've had to let go of old AI. And this is total third house energy, learning that new language of AI to help us achieve our most blessed dreams, to move from crisis to diaspora and surviving to thriving, and most blessed dreams coming through true. And this third house is also adoption spirit magic, the language of adoption spirit, magic, how we move from a low to a high state of adoption, how we flip the fighting spirit card to play through loss with adoption spirit instead, to move to a high state of adoption. That is another language we are playing with if we choose to, right? Again, free will. If we manage to free our will from our amygdala, who's been authorizing cycles of fear, fight, flight, freeze, fuck, fawn, maybe for lifetimes, decades, years. Maybe we're following other people, and now we have some extra friends to help us choose a different path. And so, this third house energy you may appreciate exploring in this cosmic law of vibration. I'm thinking singing, chanting, even just humming. Speaking in tongues, some say, is the perfect form of prayer. And to practice that, you may practice speaking like you did when you were a babe. And God knows your heart. It doesn't matter if an intelligible word is not being heard by anyone else around you. In fact, that's a point. It's sort of when, sometimes when you don't know what to say, you're too mad and you don't want to say those things. You just want to surrender it to God. And so speaking in tongues, chanting, singing, those are different ways to raise your vibration. That sound healing. Sound is musical naturalist, is one of the first intelligences humans develop, and so it's one of the easiest intelligences to lean on when we're going through major transitions. And we are going through some major transitions, haven't we? Or we're thinking about it. And so Bacchus, the god of wine and debauchery, is in Gemini saying, yeah, let's play through it. Let's play. And not to say let's get so wasted we can't even see straight or remember anything. No, that's a low state of adoption. But in a high state of adoption, how can we vibe high in a playful way? And that helps us and others. It's not harmful. And then Psyche, who is married to Cupido, who's in this place over here, Libra energy with Persephone in this cosmic law of polarity, 7th house, the law of spouse, the house of spouse Uxor, and Psyche and Jupiter. Well, Psyche betrayed Jupiter and got found out by the mother-in-law and decided, yeah, I fucked up and I care to fix that because I really respect Cupido. And so what can I do? How can I renegotiate this social contract to make it up and move forward? And Cupido's like, thank you. And so we're seeing a lot of that. Persephone too, another example of, well, mother and daughter isn't a marriage, right? But sometimes that's who's left in the family. And so just how the contracts are changing and shifting to make sure we don't hurt ourselves or others because we're so grief-struck by loss. Like Ceres was so grief-struck by loss when she lost Persephone for half the year. And she turned to agriculture. So she was playing her agriculture card to help play through that loss instead of fighting, instead of hurting herself or hurting someone else. She turned to agriculture, and what a beautiful example. And then Cupido and Psyche renegotiating their social contract instead of just discarding each other. Like in a low state of adoption, that's the protocol. Like we discard one seemingly lame person, place, thing after another. And we call that best for the best, correct. And in a high state of adoption, we're doing something different. We are renegotiating the social contract. So thrilling. In this cosmic law of karma, this is 10th house. We went over the number 10, Capricorn energy. Really building something you can be proud of that represents who you are now. And from everything you learned in a low state of adoption, and applying it, forgiving yourself, forgiving others, and applying it to build a new heaven on earth. What a beautiful, beautiful gift, opportunity to start building again with the totally different agenda, adoption spirit instead of fighting spirit. And so much more is happening here. We see Venus and Uranus about to move into this third house. This cosmic law of vibration, this happens the end of this week, I think Sunday and Monday. And so Seven Sisters, the Pleiades, may be intriguing to you. Aldebaran, the Hathors. We watched the sunset and then Venus set after that, and we knew Uranus was right there. The Seven Sisters was there. We couldn't quite see him, and they were like, who's that twinkling at us? It was Aldebaran, the eye of the bull. And this cosmic law of compensation, helping us forgive ourselves and others for what happened in low states of adoption. All of it, right? The intimacy card that we all get dealt with loss, and the 6 other cards, they cover all of it. So forgiving ourselves and others, like, we can let that go and build something new. And Venus is supporting this, Uranus is supporting this, 7 sisters, Aldebaran, Hathors. What a thrill if we choose to take it, if we are choosing to play through and this is making sense and resonating. We're like, oh my God, oh yes, I see this, right? All the support we have through 2044 and beyond, so we can keep turning to Chiron and all of our friends to guide us as needed. Maybe it's a regular thing, a weekly thing, a monthly thing, as needed, to help us as we flip the fighting spirit card and learn to play through loss with adoption spirit instead, living a whole new way. And it could feel like the ground is shifting underneath people's feet. Earthquakes, volcanoes erupting, we're seeing it literally, and it could be figuratively. Like, if you're just hearing about this for the first time, you're like, what are you talking about? A low state of adoption, a high state of adoption, what are you talking about? I thought adoption was for the best. God bless it and us all. I don't mean to laugh. It is not funny at all. This is a big deal. And if that is you, we are holding space for you to unfold as you desire, as you wish. And if you need to step out for a minute to digest what's happening and come back, that's cool. And if you decide it's something that's interesting and you want to hang out, that's cool too. So here we are. What may also orient this is the sun, 3 degrees of Libra, 50 minutes. It's probably at 4 degrees already, because the time I took these notes in the morning, now it's in the evening, sky keeps shifting. So that is also in this cosmic law of compensation, the sun and this Taurus, beautiful, sensual, if there is a God, we think, if there is a God, then God is fucking awesome and so beautiful and sensual and forgiving and helps us achieve our most blessed dreams. And Taurus is like, yeah, let's ground that in. Now's the time to dream our most dreamy dreams and ground it in the different ways we can do that. How can we ground in our self-worth and self-value now? And the 12th house, Pisces, this is faith. This is dreaminess. This is shamanism, owning your losses and the healing that goes along with that instead of fighting spirit. And this cosmic law of oneness, we are all one in that. Everybody has experienced a loss, and we all get dealt the 7 two-faced loss cards with each loss, grief, rejection, intimacy, identity, mastery and control, guilt and shame. We are all connected by loss, and we are all also connected by love. And so Pisces reminds us of that conscious Pisces energy of the 12th house. I think it's called carcer, or rehabilitation. This is you rehabilitating yourself, taking responsibility for all the loss. And the North Node went direct today. That's interesting because typically it's going reverse. And so you may investigate more about what that means. This could be like a standstill moment for you, like, oh my God, day you'll never forget. And then Pallas, Athena, is also in Pisces, helping secure a new safe haven, perhaps eradicating evil with wisdom instead of war. Glory be, hallelujah. The options are limitless, and especially when we flip over the fighting spirit card to play through loss with adoption spirit instead. And that Pisces energy in the high state of adoption, it's faith, so dreamy, and on the low end, in the low state of adoption, it's escapism, all the different ways we can escape our reality. And so what's true for you, and perhaps this Pisces, this North Node in Pisces is inviting you to dance out of the fog of adoption fairy tales, gypsy myths, fighting spirit, if you haven't already. Or maybe it's just affirming what you're already thinking or already doing. So sweet. The astrology helping us in these ways. This is so thrilling. So we got the first house, the second house, 12, 1, 2, 12. 12 is a number beautiful for forgiveness, especially on the spiritual plane, which is big. If you're just learning about this, there may be grief. There may be feelings of not wanting to forgive. Like, everybody needs their space. Everybody's a different psychosociology experiment. So thank you for taking sweet care of you and noticing your needs, or beginning to notice your needs. In those states of adoption, we were serving as emotional support pit, tuned to the needs of others before ourselves or instead of ourselves. And so now we're learning to do something different. And so being gentle with yourself, giving yourself through 2044 or, lifetimes if you need. And the moon is in Leo, just switched over 2 degrees, 29 minutes, the cosmic law of attraction. This is 5th house, reminding us to have fun, to play, and to perhaps become pregnant with idea instead of people. When those feelings come, perhaps one of the cards we play, instead of when the grief hits, perhaps we turn to creativity instead of reaction, and that Leo energy, that playful inner child energy. And perhaps you stack your deck of cards with all the joy cards, all the things you do in a day or your life to give you joy, like painting or writing or singing or dancing. So when the time comes and you're hit by grief and you can't even think straight, you can shuffle through the cards you've already made, and perhaps one of your joy cards falls out and you can play through. And right, so everybody's got their deck of cards. Some of our cards are the same. You can put them on the shelf and rest. You got your game plan for life. It's there, and it's in the stars. It's in your deck of cards that you've been playing with your phone now, or your computer. Like, every screen is a card helping you achieve your most blessed dreams, right? And Jupiter, cosmic law of relativity, that Cancer energy, 4th house energy, that Genitor, I think, is the name of that 4th house. And this is more motherly than fatherly energy, but this just passed a world point. And so the whole world is looking at expanding upon this new safe haven. Instead of having children, priming children for military, for fighting and fucking, perhaps we transform the military into healing, teaching, homeschool, because we translate the mad call for war as a distorted cry to care tenderly for the youth under 35 and all of their families, even the ones acting out the amygdala, their grief struck by loss amygdala, possessed by grief, acting out in fear, fight, flight, freeze, fuck, fun, authorizing their amygdala, authorizing the FFFFFF as for the best, correct, just how we do love, even them, success for even them, because that's their amygdala. That's not really who they are. That's their grief struck by loss amygdala. And so, it's not, each time we stop to look hate in the eye or evil in the eye, we see hurt in disguise, calling for the salves of unarmed truths and unconditional love. Not always our turn to serve. It's not always our turn to serve anymore, right? We need to learn how to take care of ourselves now in this new state of adoption, this South Node energy, this cosmic law of rhythm, this Virgo energy. What do we need to do in a day to take care of ourselves, our daily routines, now that we're not slaving away, racing around to save the world? We are allowed finally to take care of our own body and tune into that and our own emotions and own needs. So how are your daily rhythms changing to honor moving from a low to high state of adoption? And so much support here. Sometimes what's really important is to remember to detach. One of the essential rules of a healer, laws of a healer, is detachment. We learned at the Aniset Wigwam Spiritualist Summer Camp mediumship class, evidential mediumship class, that Oh, no, spiritual destinies in New Bedford. Infinite promises that the 3 laws of healer, oh, they learned it from the Wigwam. Yes, Wigwam, Ronald Berry, may he rest in power, and Judy Ramos of Infinite Promises Healing. 3 laws of a healer. Deep desire to heal yourself and help others, and detachment. And so thankful for those lessons. And Pluto is helping us with this. And in 2008, Pluto's in Capricorn helped us dismantle our low state of adoption through 2024. And so that's that energy. And so now in Aquarius, it may help in a different way, very avant-garde, like, oh my God, how much energy we're saving if we are flipping the fighting spirit card over now and playing through loss with adoption spirit. Seriously. I mean, that can happen in an instant. The learning we're doing with AI and now adoption spirit magic, it happens in an instant, and then like a lightning bolt, our life is changed. And so detaching from the outcomes, playing through, new safe haven, your ideal world. What would it look like? Where do you put the treatment table? Which crystals do you need? Do you need a sauna? Do you need a hot tub? Do you need a cold plunge? Do you need cry towels? And just making it part of your daily routine. How you want to live now that you're playing through with adoption spirit instead of fighting spirit. And Black Moon Lilith in the 9th house, conscious Sagittarius energy. This is your philosophies, the way you think. She's here verifying, yeah, we're changing our social contracts. Our marriages are changing. Cupido and Persephone are also verifying that. And to be more equitable, dignified, social contracts that everybody's in agreement with, a social contract that gets revisited seasonally so everybody succeeds, so every student succeeds, the mother, the father, however you call yourself, the heads of the household, the heads of the company, and all of the students. And so renegotiating these social contracts, so thrilling. We have the support in that 7th house, that Libra energy. How do we make it work? I'm willing to forgive you, even though that was so fucked up and you really hurt my feelings. I'll forgive you. We can do something different. I understand, because you're telling me, why you did it, and you're owning, taking responsibility for your loss. I can work through it to changing the way we adopt. Less and less people adopting emotional support people, and more people fostering wonderful relationships within their community so nobody gets kicked out of the home, and supporting the parents so nobody gets left behind, right? All the different ways that can play out. People are so smart, and the more you know, if you know, wow, there's these whole other pathways I never even saw. Oh my God, I can learn a little more each year. I don't have to know it all. I can just play my cards. I can play? Are you serious? Well, that sounds like fun. And look, it's written in the stars. And I can really check it out with myself, my spirit team, my earthly team. So thrilling. So how are you thinking your life shall shift into the blue beyond? Are you flipping that fighting spirit card over to play through loss with adoption spirit instead? Have you already? How are you using your vibration to move yourself along? Now that you know, there's a whole nother option. Instead of just living in this low state of adoption, how do you desire to live now that the whole playing field has changed, but it's still the same? Now you just get to play. You don't have to fight anymore if you don't want. If you can free your will from the amygdala, the grief-struck by loss amygdala who's been possessed by grief. Authorizing cycles of God bless it and us all. And so that is what we see for you today in this Chiron report. I am hearing some passers-by, and I'm reminded to end with the bell mantra from Thich Nhat Hanh. And it goes something like this. Mind, body, speech, in perfect oneness, I send my heart along with the sound of the bell. May hearers awaken from forgetfulness and transcend all anxiety and sorrow and peace. We are in awe of you, your energy, essence, and arts. Thank you for steering clear of danger, for playing with yourself, your cards. Whichever way you choose to go, may you trust 7 days a week. You are loved. Ciao for now. We love you all.